Hello and welcome to Walnut Lodge. Things are starting to wake up after the winter, and these are the beans that you may just have seen. It's time to think about putting the beans in. So I'm putting some frames in, ready for the beans, which I'll plant in probably another 4 or 6 weeks' time. But that's what I'm doing right now. These two beds here are going to be our beans and peas for the year. We've already got broad beans in here, and I'm going to have 3 frames for the climbing beans. I've got some purple beans to go in. I've got some runner beans, which are tricky. They're difficult to find over here. After a search from back home of various people coming over with the wrong beans, we finally got half a dozen packets of the correct runner beans. So we've got runner beans in this bed here, and I think we're going to put some climbing purple beans in that bed there, and we've also got some gigantea beans, which are really large size pods, which are really good in the winter time for stews. So I'll keep them for the winter. I've pushed the canes in. I've loosely put them in, and now I'm going to tie them all up. So the uprights are all tied up, and I've put a supporting frame across the top, tied them all in. While I'm up here, I thought I'd show you around the potager because it's a good view from up here. So that's the herb garden, and next to the herb garden is the pond, and right over by the gate there is a wooden raised bed. And that's got, actually that's going to be brassicas this year, but just on the outside of that is our artichoke bed, and next to that is where I planted the asparagus last week. Next to the asparagus is potatoes, that bit there, and these are all free beds. There's some more potatoes going to go into that bed there. There's a bed of garlic and a bed of onions that I put in before Christmas. Right over in the far corner are 2 new beds. Right, where are we? Over there. 2 new beds that we put in December time. Right on this side, past the trellis, is our soft fruit area, and in the next couple of weeks I'll be putting the fruit cage up there. Whoa, nearly lost myself and lost my balance. To the other side of that is our vines. We've got 5 or 6 vines. And then on this trellis here we've got a thornless blackberry and 2 kiwis that we put in the autumn time. And then there's 3 final beds here, which are going to be for squash this year. These 2 beds are the bean beds that we put in. We have broad beans going in. Broad beans were put in just before Christmas, and they're flowering now, so they'll be fruiting, and we'll be able to harvest them in a couple of months. And these 2 frames that I'm putting up are for purple climbing beans over there and gigantea beans. This one here that I'm doing at the moment is for runner beans, and I'm going to put another one right at the end where the tap is for climbing French beans. And in the gaps that creates, I'll put in peas and probably some dwarf beans as well. Now these frames are up, I'm going to weave a couple of canes in to support the sides, just to strengthen them. So that's the canes for the beans all set up. I won't be planting the beans for a good month, I wouldn't have thought. I've got to make sure that I'm comfortable that there's no frosts. But the frames are all up, so I'm just getting ahead of myself really. The rhubarb which we put in here 2 years ago. That's showing its head, so that's coming through nicely. This is our raspberry patch. It's right on the edge of the fruit cage, and down this end they're autumn flowering raspberries, or autumn fruiting raspberries rather. So I've just cut them right the way back down as hard as possible, because the fruit bears on the same year's growth. The ones at the end are they are summer fruiting, and the fruit comes on last year's canes. So you can see that the green shoots are coming out of canes on both of those. Not much sign yet of the currants. These are all currant bushes. That's a gooseberry there. That's springing into life. There's some new buds on there. And of course we put some strawberries in the other week. The fruit cage will go up probably about Easter time. That's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.